Hey guys, welcome to Sippin' and Spillin' with Sid from 3 Mississippi. I hope you're having a really good day. It is a hot one. It's Sunday afternoon right now. We just got back from Sunday lunch and church and all that, and met some really nice people at church today. They just started coming to our church. They came, their first week was last week, and they came this week, and we came over and introduced ourselves. And turns out that they are basically homesteaders that just moved here last summer, and they found our church through our church's vacation Bible school that they just did for their littles. And they are building their house as they're living on their land raw. They do have electricity and they have a well, but there was no real like structure there, and so they haven't started animals and all that yet, but they're kind of into it. So I went ahead and extended an invitation to them to come to Sip of Freedom weekend, since they're practically neighbors. They just live down the road too. So we'll see. I think they would enjoy meeting some other like-minded people that are doing the same kind of things. So anyway, kind of cool. So we'll see if they make an appearance. We'll see. And I did tell them, I was like, it's a bunch of crazy YouTubers, but we're all like, farmers, homesteaders, off-gridders, so we'll see. So we'll see how they do, if they end up coming, what they think of our crazy bunch. But speaking of the crazy bunch, we are just trying to get it all done. We made a lot of progress the last few days. Mike and Frankie finished building out one more wall, or the last of the walls of that part of that side, last night. And his goal today is to finish using the rest of the 2x4s that they have. Hi, baby. And yes, I know. Bunko's down at my feet doing bunko things. Yeah, I know. And then be able to on Monday go grab some more lumber. But right now there's no more space to put any lumber until we kind of use what we've got and get it in place. So I think that's kind of on the agenda right now. Right this moment, Mike is actually inside updating the list, the email chain of everything, of all the items and the stuff that we're doing, and trying to get everything kind of nailed down. Because, some people are coming Thursday night, some people are coming Friday evening. So we're trying to, kind of get a head count for each meal so we know, what we need to make and have and how much of everything. So I know you just have so much to say, sir. I know. So he's working on that because I've put together my shopping list, but I need to kind of finalize it and maybe add some things and maybe take a couple things off because of what people have said they're going to bring. Because Wednesday is my big shopping trip to get everything. And they, I mentioned, Mike's putting electrical out in the shop so that we'll have a couple plug-ins out there, and we'll be able to have the freezer and the big refrigerator going out there. And we got the box installed and the first part of the meter installed and all of that, and all the cables run, but we still have to, they did the inspection, which we passed, but we have to wait for them to come over and do the actual connection, add the meter part of the meter box, and give it its blessing and make it juicy, make it have juice, make it have power. So that'll be sometime this week. We're hoping, Monday or Tuesday that'll happen. They didn't give us like a day or time that they're coming, but we are in a small town, so with our power company, so it's usually, and I think that the inspection guy, is aware of our situation and kind of knows like, okay, well, they kind of want to get this done, and this isn't just like, so we'll see. I'm hoping it'll get done. I think it will. I think it's going to be golden. I'm not going to stress it. I had enough other little things that I want to, do and stress about, I guess, that I don't need to be stressing about that in particular. We've got A bunch of decorations just showed up. Mike got a bunch of little flags and another tablecloth or two and some other stuff. And yesterday we figured out, where we're going to put the big water slide. And because that's coming Thursday night. The porta potties are coming sometime Thursday, which I need to reach out to that company on Monday and just make sure like everything's lined up with them. Because the week that I ordered them, which was months ago, they called me like 2 days later and they said, hey, I'm bringing porta potties out to you today. And I was like, nope, you're bringing them in like 2 months. And he was like, oh, I just saw the Thursday on here. So I got to make sure they got the date on there right. Double check it just to make sure. Figured out where the nearest dump station is for everybody to, kind of dump their waste out of their RVs before they want to, I'm sure they don't want to travel with it in there. So get that all squared away, and it's going to be hot. It's supposed to, there's a chance that it could cool down a little bit from what it's at right now, which would be amazing. But it's Mississippi, so you never know. It could just get hotter. And we're not really forecasted. There's a chance of a little bit of rain on Wednesday. But other than that, we have like no moisture other than the humidity in the air in the forecast, which is good. We don't want a bunch of rain right before we have to pull all the RVs up onto the, into the yard, because we don't want it to just turn into a big mud pit. So it's good that it's not going to be, super rainy, but at the same time, a little bit of a cool down would be good. And Mike and Ryan and Will went and got all the fireworks yesterday. We ended up getting basically a pallet of fireworks, which that'll be in Tuesday's video. You'll see a little bit of that. A lot of fireworks. We have no shortage of fireworks. So that'll be a show. It'll be a show. It's a thing, and a couple people have contributed to it, so we appreciate that, because it's definitely an expense. It's one that if left to my own devices, I would not buy fireworks. To me, it's like lighting your money on fire, and I could think of better ways to spend my money. But fireworks are sort of one of those things you expect for a 4th of July celebration. So I get it, but I don't know. To me, it's like when I go to Vegas, I don't gamble, because it's like throwing money away. Like, I'd rather go have a nice dinner or go to a show or some kind of an experience and spend my money on that than putting it in a thing and pulling a lever or sitting at a table or something. So, but that's me. I'm weird like that. So yeah, just kind of getting that kind of stuff done. Trying to do a little more cleanup. He'll have to mow one more time between now and then, because the grass just grows so darn fast out here. I weed whacked a bunch the other day and got a bunch of stuff moved out to the burn pile and just did kind of that sort of stuff. And we got a bunch of firewood from Ryan. He had a big dead tree that had been sitting for a while that wasn't rotted, that'll be good firewood. So we still have to get the cinder blocks to make the burn pit, and I did get I've got some little mosquito things to put out, and I've got a couple of fly bags to put kind of at the perimeter of the areas that we're hanging out to kind of get the flies away, because there's one spot for some reason under the tree. Starting about 2 days ago, there's been a bunch of flies under the big oak tree that we cannot tell why, where, how. There's nothing over there that should draw them. The goats are over there and the birds are back there, but they were like all up front of the tree, and all that stuff's, several feet behind that tree. So, a couple yards. So I don't know why the flies decided, like, this is where we are now. And we were like standing there talking about where we were going to put stuff. And Mike was like, where are all these flies coming from? I'm like, I don't know. I know you're so mad. You can come up here if you want, but now you're scratching, so we'll see. So anyway, so I got some fly bags coming, and they'll be here Tuesday, so I can get those hung up and maybe take care of some of that. And we were kind of figuring out, where we're going to put everybody and all that. So it's coming together. It's coming together. I got the shrimp ordered for the boil, and my friend's mom, Sherry's going to pick those up on Saturday morning for that night. and because they come like, I guess, fresh from the Gulf. He gets a shipment of them like that morning, and so we're getting them from him. He's this local guy, has a really great restaurant called Crawfish Chris's down. It's down a little ways from us. It's a little bit of a drive because it's in a weird spot. Those of you familiar with Mississippi, it's kind of what? Come here, come on. You just stand there and scream at me. Oh my goodness, he's just sitting there yelling at me. Anyway, I think it's technically on the outskirts of Matheson, so it's a little ways away, and it's kind of like off the back road. You know, it's got, like, you would never find it just driving around if you didn't know his restaurant was there. It was like an old gas station that they converted the back half to a restaurant, and the front half is sort of looks like a yard sale, you know. But some of the best steak that I've ever had has come out of that restaurant, and they have really good alligator bites and all kinds of stuff. So anyway, but he's been doing a lot of, you know, selling the live crawfish and all that. Well, crawfish season's, you know, over now, but he still has like shrimp and crab legs and stuff like that. So we're gonna do some shrimp for the shrimp and sausage boil. So that'll be good. But yeah, it's all coming together. Thursday is going to be a real busy day with, you know, them coming and bringing the slide and the porta potties, and then us decorating. And Frankie's got, in the middle of the day, band practice for color guard for a couple of hours, but it works out because my girlfriend Jen has to go into town to take her daughter to a dental cleaning or something. So she's like, I'll just take her, and then when we're done in town, I'll just come back and we'll finish helping with whatever needs done. So she's like, that way you don't have to stop what you're doing and go and come back and go. And I'm like, that would be amazing. So she's saving my butt on that one. And then Wednesday, Frankie's actually going to be babysitting all day for our friend of the family that's a neighbor. I guess their babysitter fell through, and she's like, I'm really stuck. And so I was like, well, you know, let me check with Frankie. I'm sure she'll want to. She's actually supposed to be gone all day, helping with something at church, but you know, we go to that every month, and this is like one time where we're like, well, she's really, ow, Bunko, we're not choosing violence right now, sir. No, sir. Sometimes he just wants to play. Anyway, so she's gonna be tired after that day, because this is gonna be a long, you know, what is it? I think it's like a 9-hour day of watching the girls, and they're sweet girls. We love them, but you know, she's not used to running after 2 little ones, and it's tiring. So I think it's good sometimes for a teenage girl to babysit, you know, that kind of age group, because it's a good reminder of, I am not ready for this. It's a good reminder of, you know, to stay virtuous for a while longer. You know, not that Frankie has any, you know, we don't have any issues with her with, you know, not being a good kid, but those of you that are parents out there, you understand what I'm saying. Sometimes it's good to give them a little reality reminder of like, this is why. You know, so she's gonna have her hands full. So I told her, I was like, you better make sure you get to bed early Tuesday night, because you're gonna have your work cut out for you on Wednesday. But yeah, you know, it'll be good practice for her, good practice. And I'm just down the road, like I can see their house from the road, you know. So if she gets in a jam or needs some help, although I will be gone for a chunk of the day on Wednesday, worst case scenario, you know, her dad will be here if he needs to run over and help with anything. But yeah, so just kind of trying to get everything squared away and done. And I think we have a pretty good map of like the things that we need to do over the next few days to kind of get us in a good position for Thursday night. Because Drew and Lindsay are planning on arriving Thursday night. Auntie Ann, those of you know Auntie Ann, she may be arriving Thursday night. It's going to depend on how their travel goes. They may stop somewhere part way and spend the night, I guess, and then come, you know, Friday morning. Either way, it's fine. And then I think everybody else is planning on leaving, you know, early Friday morning and just heading over. So by Saturday, we'll have a full spectrum of everybody here. So it'll be good. It'll be a fun time. I'm excited. It's kind of one of those things where I'm like, I can't believe it's already here. And I keep just making lists and like going over things. So I'm like, I don't want to forget anything. I want to make sure everything's, you know, kind of set up and squared away and everything's accounted for and all of that. So I know Auntie Ann told me, she's like, don't worry if something gets forgotten or whatever. You know, her husband Mike likes to go on little excursions at these kinds of functions and stuff. And she's like, he'll be happy to run into town and go get whatever we need. So I'm like, okay. You know, so that'll be a help if we do get in that situation. But I try to be prepared. You know, I try to have everything squared away. I guess that's part of being a prepper and being somebody who doesn't like to have to make multiple trips or, you know, go get certain things from the store or whatever. Is like, I want to be prepared. I want to have it all lined up. I want to know what's going on. So that's where we're at with that. But I'm going to make some sheet cakes and I'm going to make some muffins for the first morning, and I'm going to have, you know, a few things like that kind of going on, aside from all the other stuff that we're cooking and making and prepping and whatever. So just a few little things like that, but we're going to get it all done. We're going to get it all squared away. But it's like 100 degrees today in the shade. Like, it's quite warm right now, but yeah, it's going to be a hot one. And I know there's a lot of them, they're staying intense, and I feel for them. I just don't know how comfortable that they are going to be in a tent. I mean, we've got lots of shade out here under these pine trees and stuff, but it's still, man, and we do get a nice breeze through here, but even so, it's a warm. So is what it is, though. Man, I guess that's part of roughing it when you when you choose that option. So, but I'm excited to see everybody. I can't wait. I'm looking forward to it. There's, you know, a few people that I was hoping were going to be able to make it, like MT Homestead and Chrissy from Paragon Ridge, and Jen and Wiley from Our Mountain Home aren't going to be able to make it either. So I'm a little bummed. I'm not going to see some of my buddies, but the majority of the people are coming, so that's good. And can't wait for you guys to see all the shenanigans that are about to ensue. It'll be great. It'll be fabulous. It'll be wonderful. So anyway, guys, I appreciate you. I got to get back to work and get some stuff squared away and work on a list probably. But as always, guys, I appreciate you. Stay blessed and safety's off.